Hello everybody, all YouTube and orchid people, lovers of all things orchid. Today is Sunday. Today is breakfast with Botanica, orchid culture book, and my collection, comparing Botanica to the orchids, the species within this book that I have. Today I have a little soda somewhere, which is a treat. I don't really drink pop. But I had one today along with my fried chicken and my mashed potatoes and gravy, and I'm actually just finished lunch. So this is not breakfast, this is lunch. Anywho, we are on R today. We finished up with P. And we're on R. How colorful that is. Everybody knows what that is. Okay, and R starts with Injiris, which is not similar to Arangus for nothing. This is a genus of about 6 monopodial species, widespread throughout tropical Africa. Occurs in dry habitats and rainforests at a range of altitude, so that really makes it difficult. Originally, we're in Arangus. Let's see, cultivation. Plants grow best on a slab, so their long spurs are displayed. Place them under semi to heavy shade in a watering rest period after flowering. There is what that looks like. I have one of these that bloomed really nice for me last winter in fact. Very, very fragrant. In fact, was winner of most fragrance. And this is that plant. It suffered this summer outside. Despite it being a warm grower, the kiki at the bottom survived, and the plant actually survived. We'll see if it does better this winter. It does like drier, but it says drier after blooming, and generally it didn't bloom for me until after fall into winter. So we'll see. I'll try to post a picture of my blooms that I got from my Injiris that I just showed you. Anyhow, let's move on. And Renanthera, I have tried Renantheras many, many times. They are Vandaceous types, Vanda types. They require a lot of space. Generally, you have to, in my care, I have to buy specimens or bloom-sized plants in order for them to do anything, because they are so very slow growing. And so they're therefore very difficult to even get close to bloom size. Like I said, I've tried many of them. All of them here that are mentioned: Monachica, Renanthera, Citrina, Storii I've tried. I've even tried hybrids, but they just never get to be bloom size, and I just don't have the time for that. So, okay, let's move on to Restripia. I do not have any Restripias. I did have a Restripia, and I believe it was Antennaphera. And I had no business getting this, but someone gave it to me, and it bloomed for a while. It was a very big plant, and I had it growing right over in this area, right on this corner. At the time, it did still get lots of air movement, and it got a little bit more shade than it is now. So it was a more cooler microclimate at that time. Now I just don't think I can grow Restripias just because of the heat. But I do like the fact that they bloom. They have a very long bloom season. Maybe this was the one that I had, Cucellata. I think that is the one that I had, because I remember those red flowers with the little dots, the little spots that you can see at the top. That's the one that I had. And actually, I had Muscifera. This was given to me as a gift. And this is Muscifera. And I love that flower because it comes out from the back of the flower. And they are sequential. Again, these are moderate altitude growing plants from rainforests. The thing with Restripias, I think, is my downfall, besides my warmth, was that they appreciate more higher quality of water. And in the wintertime, when I'm giving them mostly water from the hose, and even in the summertime, more infrequently getting from the hose, but they do get water from the hose when it was hot outside. That was really what caused them to go downhill first, I believe, because their leaves started to fall off. Anyway, we're on to Rinculalia, which these used to be in Brassavola, but now they are their own. And of course, I'm talking about Digbyana and Glauca, which I just gave away my Glauca. It actually had bloomed for me a couple years before, and then I mounted it, and then it just got sheets on it. But you know, I just don't have the space and the time to deal with big plants that are reluctant to bloom. And these are, both of them are very reluctant to bloom if you don't have a high humidity, and I believe it's light, the time of light. You have to provide them with a lot of hours of light during the summer period, and we just don't have that kind of a light. But I don't have any of those now, so I'm just going to skip them. Rincastel, don't have it. Now, Rincastylus, I've had a Rincastylus, and I believe it was Retusa. I don't have any Rincastylus. Now, again, they generally require Vanda type conditions, bright light, hot, humid conditions, baskets. These get to be huge before their bloom size. So don't be fooled when you buy those ones in the stores, like at Hauserman. They probably have them in bloom right now, but then when you get them home, because they've been grown in an environment that has much higher light than we could ever give them, and often forced into bloom, you know, they're smaller than it would require them to bloom for us. So it will take, like, I would say a plant probably twice the size in order to bloom one that you would get from a nursery, I would say. Just look at Sharon Short's videos. Her Rincastylus are humongous. But anyway, I don't have any of those. Robiquisha, no. Rodrigueza, now I am obsessed with Rodriguezas, although they are really on the border of my growing area, in fact. They are more intermediate growers. They require high humidity year-round, and pretty much they like shade. Like I said, they require water year-round and shade and high humidity. And they prefer intermediate to hot, although they are temper tolerant. So, as far as the ones that I have one right now, and I have a hybrid. And the one that I have is, I believe it's, I'm not quite sure where it is. It should be around here in this area though, because, actually, you know what? Here's one right here. And while I'm trying to look for the other one, here is one. And this has just been repotted. And this is Rodrigueza lanceolata, which lanceolata, the flower is right there, pinkish with a white stripe in the throat. Lanceolata, synonym is secunda. It's from West Indies, Panama, Venezuela. Pseudobulbs are ovoid compressed, about 1.5 inches tall. So it's got some growing to do. There are 1 or 2 strap-like leaves, about 10 inches, up to 6 inflorescences arise from each pseudobulb. They are arching, up to 14 inches long, kind of pendulous at times, and the flower is varying color from pale pink to bright red. It does not require watering or sprayed, so it flowers throughout the year, but most often in late fall. And so they like to be watered well, and they want not to dry out. So that is my lanceolata, and I know I have one more. Maybe, I think it's brachiata. Let me walk back this way. Here we go. Back here. I'll just pull this out. Hopefully there is a tag. And I'm not seeing a tag, but I know this is a Rodrigueza. And you know what? Let me pull it down and let's take a closer look at it. Because I really haven't looked at it since I bought it in. And that's only been maybe a week. But let's take a look at it. So I am thinking that this is brachiata, which is a white flower, brachiata, or fragrance, or venusta. There's the flower, white. You can see how it's pendulant from warm lowlands to the cool mountains of Brazil. Pseudobulbs are 1 1/4 inch long or tall. Strap-like leaves up to 10 inches long, pretty much the same size. Inflorescence is arching, several crystalline white flowers. Flowering is autumn to early winter. And so when I look at mine, that little appendage right there is a new growth. That is not a spike. So these are putting up new growths. Did put up a spike for me, but the blooms aborted when they got to the bud stage. I believe that was when I was on vacation out in Seattle. But this is growing well for me, and I'm pretty happy. You just do not want to let this dry out, and nor all these aerial roots. And that's my Rodriguez's. Put them back, set them down here, and let's move on. Rodriguez's are just precious, precious little things. Rodrigueziella, I do not have. Racioglossum, I did have a Racioglossum at one time. These are cooler growers. This is intermediate, but I think they're more cooler growers. I was unsuccessful. And that's it. We are at S. That's for next week. S reminds me of what? Schomburgki, Stanhopea, Sarcochilus. Yeah? Stenocor? Yeah? Anything else? I'm sure there's lots more. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your orchids. Bye.